What's up, Scott? Microtonal. Yeah, you have songs. What is this? It changed my thing. Oh, alright, so I don't remember this.
A man who works hard, sweats hard. Old Spice driver finds sweat, so Coach thought I was slack.
I like that chord. That's neat. Interesting. You go into a lot of three limit stuff. You just don't see that a whole lot. I wonder if you're a big 53 fan. You're in a 31. That makes sense. 13 limit, yeah. Does a 31 do 13 limit stuff well? I never think about 13 limit. The first interval that comes to mind is 1310. Yeah, 1310. And then like the 10, 13, 15. That chord. It's a interesting chord. No, it doesn't really do that well. I think 41 does. I don't know. Terrible. 13 is pretty cool for chord extensions. You can build a harmonic 13th chord. 4, 5, 6, 7, 13. Yeah. No, I mean, those chords sound sick. And even just like taking like 9, 11, 13, or stuff like that. I really like that. I guess so. Like in one octave of the harmonic series, you get 4, 5, 6, 7, and then you get 11, 13 are the next primes you get. But if you just look at the odd limit, I guess you get 9, 11, 13, 15 or whatever. But that's where it starts to get really interesting. Is right in that area with the low limit JI stuff. And then I like the next octave too, but it gets less and less. Seems like the higher up you go in the series, the less it seems to matter. I know there's a lot of different opinions on that, but what I do is I take a bass chord like the sub minor triad 6, 7, 9, and then I add extensions on top like 11, 13. See what yeah, I'm sure that sounds really good. You can kind of do a 6, 7, 9, 11, and 22, but it's not like super in tune. I think 27 sounds pretty good. 27 Edo. It's pretty good. 6, 7, 9, 11 or whatever. I think 27 has some 13 limit stuff actually. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm not sure how close it is. Yeah, it's got a 13.8. And it's pretty close. It's only 4 cents off. Not even. Or about 4.5 cents. 4 cents off. Yeah. So yeah, 27 will give you some 13 limit stuff. And the septimal stuff is really good. The 7/6 is like perfect. The only thing is your 5th is really sharp at that point. But the 13 is pretty sharp too, so. And then, do you have an 11 though? Maybe you don't have a good 11. Oh, no good 11. Huh. I did not realize that. 22 has a decent 11. Shit. Oh well. If you take 10, 12, 15 minor and add 17 on top, it's a really neat sounding minor 6 chord. Do you feel like 12 Edos minor chord with the flat 9 sounds like that? Because that would be pretty. I guess that third would be off quite a bit, like 15 cents or so. But do you think it's a good version of that? Ten, 12, 15, and 17 on top. Zen paper is really good for this stuff. 10, 12, 15. So we'll hear it both ways. Yeah, it's nice. That's a good one. The other stuff you said. Take 6, 7, 9, and then try like the 11, 13. Let's try a little bit of that. So 6, 7, 9. 6, 7, 9, 10 is a sub minor version of that. That makes sense. sounds nuts. I really like this one. That one's sick. You said that was the yes. Yeah, they both sound cool, but yeah, I really love it. Septimal minor sound. It's like super nice. Adding the let's see, 15. So what would the 13 limit minor chord be like? Because if 10, 13, 15 is like ultra major, then you should get a corresponding infra minor or whatever. I have to multiply this by 2. That might be 26, 30, 39, 26, 30, 39. That's a big chord. 26, 30, 39. I don't think that reduces. No, it's not bad actually. They feel like sus chords, really. I know people say that's ultra major or whatever. I don't really buy it. All I know is 6. Okay, I see. I think we're on the same page there. Yeah, so 27 doesn't have a good 11/8. Now, it does have a couple intervals that you could try. It's got this 577, which is 22 cents off, and it's got the 533, which is like 22 cents off on the other direction. There's a baby grasshopper in my house. That's so cool. Or a cricket or something. He's green like a leaf. Try 14, 18, 21, 24, 23. Crazy super major chord. I mean, that's a crazy extended chord, but I'll try it. Let's do it. Oops. That's way more than just a super major. That sounds insane. You weren't kidding when you said it was crazy. Let's try to break this down a little bit. So 14, 18, 21. Those all divide by 7. So that'd be 7. No, they don't. So this sounds like this. So that'd be like 7, 9. No, it doesn't reduce. Okay, I see. That's like 7, 9, and this is like 9, 3 to 7. 3 to 7. What? 3. 18 divided by 3 is 6. 6 to 7. 6 to 7. So this is like a 6, 7. This is a 7, 9. So 7, 9. 6 to 7. It's 14, 18, 21. So that's a chord. And then what is going on here? 18, 21, 24. These are all divisible by 3, I think. So it would be 6, 7, 8. So this is 6, 7, 8. So this is 6, 7, 8. So that's a sub minor on the top of a 7. It's like you're putting a sub minor on top of a 7, and then these are also reduced. These are all reducible by 3, actually. But yeah, 6, 7, 9, and then 5 by 3 is 9. No, 6, 7. What the hell is it? 6, 7, 8, 9. 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. And that's a 7. Super major 13, sharp 9. Interesting. So if you took the 14 off, you would have 6, 7, 8, 9, 11. So like this. And yeah, actually stacking them like that makes this sound way cooler, I think. It's building up to it. Wow, what a chord. And then there's other stuff in here too, because we start with this, but we could have started with, so this was 6, 7, 8, 9. 79. What's 8, 9, 11? That's not 79. That's nothing. I mean, it's something, but it's just a series of tones. So we could do like 6, 7, 9, 11. Now, what if we took, well, everything else is kind of, it's the 14 that like roots it. We could try doing something else too, like filling out some of it. So we could try the 17 too. Like if we ignored this, we'd have this, and this would be 15, 16, 17. So 17 would be the missing. 17 and 19. Oh no, we don't have any other primes. 13, any of them, 13, 17, 19. What happens if you add a 19 to this? Let's try that. So that sounds like that. Let's try it. 17. Get rid of the 19. That's crazy chord. That's horrifying. It's not bad. 17, 19. So this is like a second. And then this is like a minor third, kind of. So what is 19, 23? 19 times 2 is 38. 38. 2. Shit, what do you do with this? double on both, I think. And then it's 3 times it. Shit, so 38, 46, and then 19 times 3 is, 9 times 3 is 7, 50, 57, or 57. That's a big fat chord. Okay, but it is a minor chord. Alright, so taking back our stuff from before. Hey, what's up? 7, 8, 9. So 14, 17, 21 is super minor. And 14, 18, 21, super major. That's kind of interesting. 14. $17, 21. And then 14, 18, 21. Well, that makes sense, I guess. 17, hold on, does that make sense? 17, that's only 104. So 4, 968, so, oh, I see, that makes sense. So that'd be super, well, no, that'd be, what's 19? 297. It's like almost minor third exactly. And 12. 12 does a good 19 and a good 17. You just add 30 basically. But they shouldn't be. Just add 30. So the minor should be. Did you say infra minor? Is that what you said? Supra minor. Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, yeah. Supra minor, yes. That makes sense. And this would be super major slightly. I mean, definitely. So that 7. Oh, because 9/7. Oh, that's the normal 9/7 super major. Yeah, that's the 22 Ito super major. So you could get a 17 actually. 17 is actually. I think these are both in 22. Yeah, that's pretty close to the 22 semitone. It's just a little flat. So yeah, both of those are in 22, basically. 336. Yeah, and that would be close to the 22 minor third, like the 5 cents off. So I think, right? 22 is like 331, somewhere in there. Minor third. 327, never mind. A little flatter now. So it's 9 cents off, but it's not terrible, I guess. Pretty close. Close in 22, extremely close in 34. So 18, 22, 27, 33, 39 is a neutral 7th with a 13 and 9th on top. Alright, let's cut this one up. So that would be like a 9. 9 times 3 is 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 9. 9 times So 18 to 22 is like a 9/11. And 9/11 is like a neutral third. And then 22 to 27, that one's like a flat. It's like a 550, and that one's like, so it's pretty close to a 12 veto A, right? 27. No, this reduces. Does 27 reduce? Or is it prime? 27 reduces, right? It's 9 times 3 is 27. It's 9 times 3. This is a 9 times 3. 9 times 3. What's 3 above 3 times 9? 3 to the third. It's just 3 to the third. So fifth above fifth. Above a fifth. So it's Pythagorean minor 6. So it's close to 12 veto A. Isn't that what I said? It's not prime. For some reason I thought it was prime. But it's a little sharper than 12 veto A. But anyway, this is kind of flat and this is kind of sharp. So this is going to be a really wide. Well, no, this is leaning towards F sharp though. So this will 550 to 906 or so. 906 from 550 is what, 350-ish, 356. So that's another neutral basically. So this is basically just neutral. And then this is the 11 of the 5. What? 11 out of 5. What? 11 times 3. What am I 11 times 3? Oh, this is right here. So 11 to 27, and then this. So this is basically a fifth here. And then, so I don't do JI that much, so I'm trying to math it out to understand it a little better. And this is 13 times 3. So this is a fifth above a 13. This is not a 13, but so this octave reduced would be flat of this, right? Because 13 is like a neutral 6, kind of on the flat side, if I remember correctly. That's one I haven't looked at much. So 13/8 is 840. Yeah, so it's like a flat neutral 6th. So compared to this is major 6. This would be like a super major 7th from here to here. If we reduce these by 3, you would get a 9, 11, 13. And that would sound like this. So 9, 11, 13. That'd be like a 9, 11 is like a neutral third. Then 11 to 13 is like they're both kind of flat. So 840 from 550, that's roughly 300 cents. It's roughly a minor third. This is kind of like a diminished chord. So you could get kind of like a dominant chord, I guess, if you put a third below the 9, put the major third. So if you did 7, 9, 11, 13, I guess that's sort of like a dominant. It's like a wacky dominant. Doesn't really sound dominant actually at all. Alright, so is the 7 in here? No. So there's no 7 in here. So what are we doing? We're doing 11 to 27 to 33. So 22 to 27 to 33. Let's just hear that. So what does that sound like? So I know the bottom, this part here is just a neutral chord. We'll hear that too. So 18, 22, 27. That's just a neutral chord. And then 22, 27, 33. This is 22 to That's neutral too, basically, right? Because this is like 550. This is like 906 or something. So 550 to 900. Trim the fat is 350. So yes, this is another neutral. So it's like two neutrals stacked, kind of. So two different flavored neutrals. And then what else? Do we want to look at anything else? This is basically just this. So we'll flip these around a little bit. Okay, let's hear these. Wow. So these two chords sound so similar. It's insane. Right here. These first two. Train horn. 348. 348. Oh wow. 11/9 is like a perfect neutral. Isn't Pythagorean minor sixth like 128 over 81? Simplified intervals are 1, 11/9, 3, 2, 11/6, 13/6. Hey, some guy, what's up? You got your stream working again? Yeah, I saw you were streaming yesterday. I think I was streaming while you were streaming. 27/16 is the major sixth, yeah. 27/18 is a 3/2. Did I have it in there? Oh, 18 to 27 is the fifth. Let's see. Okay, that makes sense. And 13/6, it's well approximated in 26. 13/6 is approximated in 26. 13/6 would be 840 over 702. So that'd be 2, like 204, like 240. 240? Is it 240 and 26? Hey, Don, what's up, dude? Top fan. So you have to be you can't be a mod and get a. Wait, why are you top fan? Skyward's been posting. Skyward's been posting all day. All day. Since I got here. I know, they just gave me it. I saw this on Paleac stream. And I was his #1 fan. I was the top fan. And I saw it today when I loaded up the stream and I tried to turn it off. But it won't let me turn it off. Hey, do I have a join button now? I would like that. If you're gonna make me do this stupid crown thing, why can't I get the join button? I guess that's a limited rollout. So some people are getting it, some people aren't. You got 75. Dude, Dom is kicking y'all's asses and he's barely even trying. Must be a limited rollout. So only the YouTube elect get the opportunity to rise the ranks. If you click it, you're the only one on the list. You're the only one. I don't like it, honestly. I want to turn it off. I hope there's a way to turn it off. Isn't it cool that each Prime and GI has its own unique flavor or vibe to it? Yes, sure. I do think that's cool. Um, do you have a favorite? What's your do you have a favorite JI subset? What do you like to do? It looks like you like to do a lot of prime limit stuff. Like, well, I only just watched that one video, so it's hard to say, but it seems like you like to experiment with doing low limit harmonic series chords and then, or low complexity harmonic series chords, and then doing some higher complexity but low prime limit stuff as well. But I'm curious if you're into like the primodal stuff or if you are into anything else, like odd limits, prime limits, whatever. Not necessarily low limit anymore, more into high prime limit with low complexity. High prime. I like that too myself, honestly. That was 2 years ago. You've only posted shorts recently? I see. Well, let me look at some of your more recent stuff. It's 31 Ito. I grabbed some. That sounds pretty good. 11 limit JI. I don't know what that symbol means. I guess harmonic 11. Harmonic 7. Yeah, those are just smooth chords. I like this, yeah. I already liked it. I've already seen this. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. I like that progression. It's kind of a normal progression, but then the JI buzz makes it sound crazy. Like when you go to the B flat, that's insane. Oops. Yeah, that B flat sounds sick. Alright. Yeah, it's cool stuff. Yeah, the buzz is addicting for sure. Um, I think like that's what I like about like low limit or low complexity JI is it's so buzzy. Um, but yeah, it can almost it is like that crunch is addicting, but it's also kind of like different. Like it can almost like if you wanted to use that chord functionally, the buzz would get in the way. You know what I mean? It almost like feels like an effect at a certain point. 26 is not too many notes and gives you a glimpse into the 13 line. Interesting. So 26 you said has 13 6, is that what you said? Or 13 6. So 13 is like 840, and 6 is 7. 2 would be like 104 or 140-ish. I see it's right here. Okay. It's 1312. Oh, I see. 1312. Okay. Cool. Yeah, it's right here. 138. 1312 is 130. Oh, it's really good actually. Yeah, nice. Very good. 1312. So that's like a 13 limit semitone. That's interesting. So a 1324 would be like a major seventh, right? So you'd have that in 26 as well. It'd be like 10, 60-ish. So right here, 2413, 1061. So that's like a neutral. So I guess it is like neutral, isn't it? It's close to neutral. Interesting. It's in the diatonic scale. Oh, interesting. Even high limit can be buzzy too, 711. Yeah. And I mean, that's kind of the appeal of using like some of the higher primes is they'll get a little crunch and a little buzz, but it's not necessarily overwhelming. That's one of the cool observations that Zia has made about like primordial stuff. You get kind of that, you get a bit of the buzz without it getting like too overwhelming. When you put it in a major seventh chord, it sounds majory. 2413, 26. Is that seventh in the major scale? Oh, it is the B major seventh. Oh, interesting. So that's just the flat tone seventh. That's cool. Let's listen to those real quick. So 26 has some 13 limit stuff. Yeah, I never think about the 13 limit. I think about 11 limit sometimes. There's not a lot of that in 22, but it does have good 11 limit seconds, which sound really cool. And honestly, I think I prefer that to like the 11 limit thirds, although maybe not. I really like 1411 is a really cool interval. What am I doing? So 26. 26 is 3 and 4, right? 4 and 3. So here's that 13 limit second. And here's that major seventh. Yeah, the diatonic scale in 26 tends towards neutral, which is kind of cool. 11 and 13 limit are all over flat tone diatonic, yeah. If you make a scale out of the 8th harmonic through the 16th and play all the notes, it sounds like one buzzy sound. So promodality kind of helps with that. Yes, that's right. I've done that too. I like to take every time I do it on stream, someone talks me into doing a different harmonic series scale. But I really like just taking 16 to 32 and just playing that. I think that's a good spot because it can get really crazy because it has all the most basic JI, but then it, you know, all the new stuff in that octave is not too overwhelming. Everything from like 17 on is pretty not overwhelming. But it can lock in really nicely, obviously. 16 and 32 is cool because you get a bunch of this xenharmonic stuff and bit JI. Yeah, I really like that. I think if I've been meaning to go back to JI at some point and really just mess with that scale. I feel like that's the fundamental JI scale if you had to pick one, like the fundamental harmonic series scale, because it's the first octave where you get enough notes to do anything really kind of resembling functional harmony. You can kind of do it in the previous octave, but it gets so buzzy so fast. And yeah, it's just adding in the extra intervals kind of gives you more freedom to do more stuff more closely resembling functional. Also, it's the first chromatic octave, so like the previous octave, 8 through 16 is like basically just like a scale. It's kind of like a diatonic scale, kind of like a diatonic chord almost, because you can play it like one. But yeah, the 29th harmonic is kind of cool. It's a supra minor 7th. Same with the 37th harmonic, but it's high up. If you want a custom Ito or tuning on a guitar, Universe told me to refer to this website. Let's check this out. I do want a 22 Ito guitar. What does this mean? Custom scratch build down. That's the full guitar. Dude, $1,500 for a guitar is not that bad. It's just crazy. A neck is almost $1,000. This one is $1,000. Custom SRT style microtonal baritone neck. Mike Battaglia got a 22-tone guitar from John. Wow. That's exactly what I want. I'm listening to Mike. Mike's my hero. Mike Battaglia. What a guy. Look at that crazy guitar, dude. About me, I play the craziest guitar you've ever seen. Holy shit. Dude, that guitar looks wicked. What are all these? What is it? Do those do anything? Oh, they're freaking switches. What do the switches do? There's only one. There's only 2 pickups. Wait, what the hell is this? Man, he put some crazy stuff down here too. It looks like a slide guitar thing. It's really interesting. This guy makes some insane guitars. So you can get the neck. What does this mean? Custom scratch build down payment. Oh, custom scratch build down payment. I see. $1,500 down payment. So the whole thing is probably like 5K or something. Alright, that makes sense. And what does this mean, June 2025? That was last month. $700. Holy shit. Just for a neck. So, the 29th harmonic is kind of cool. It's a supra minor 7. Same for the 37th harmonic. So let's hear some of these. So the 29th harmonic. So 29. You just hear that interval. And then let's hear this. 2 to 37. It's a semi-fourth. It's 37th harmonic. What? And then if you wanted to combine them, I guess you'd do like 32, 58. Interesting. Anyone know a cheaper alternative to a Lumitone? Linnstrument is depending on which size you get, it's 1100 or like 1500. And Launchpad is like, if you want the velocity sensitive one, I think it's like 200. Or maybe it's only like 150. You want the Launchpad X, it's like 200 new, 220. You can be used for cheap. A cool thing about the Launchpad is that you can daisy chain them, so you can get more pads if you want. So you could pay $300 for 2 of these, or $400 for 2 of these, and you'd get 128 pads, which is what the linnstrument has. The smaller one that I use. I don't know how they work together, but people do. At least a couple people do it. And one guy on Discord, who is it? User minus one on Discord has like 4 of them and plays in 311. And then a hex board is a cool one. It's not velocity sensitive. It has a knob you can adjust the velocity with, but obviously that's not the same thing. But it looks really cool. This guy's been talking about adding velocity sensitivity to it. If he did, I would even consider buying one, just because people ask me all the time about MIDI controllers, and I would want to try it out. And it does have hexagonal keys, which is awesome. And it has a lot of keys in a small space, which is awesome. If it was velocity sensitive, I would have bought one of these a long time ago. And you can do your own build and get it cheaper, or you can get it pre-assembled, and it can be like up to $600. Still a lot cheaper than a Lumitone. Another one is the X key. The X key is velocity sensitive, and it's this cool little boutique MIDI controller company that makes these. It has CV outs, which is pretty cool if you're into modular stuff. But it's not a lot of keys. It's only like 64 pads. And if you do microtonal, you need a lot of pads. So the launch pad only has 64 pads, and it's a grid. This has 64 and it's hexagons, so maybe it's better than a launch pad. But I don't think you can daisy chain them, but maybe you can. I don't know if anyone's tried it. Also, neither X-Key nor Launchpad nor linnstrument, in fact, has native microtonal support. They all have third-party software that gives you microtonal compatibility. So for X-Key, you can use Relayer, which is the same software you can use for Lumitone. But I think it's pretty much only does like temperaments and Edos. I don't think it does JI. Or like, I don't think it's like fully customizable. You're thinking about either a Launchpad, X-Key, or Hexboard. Yeah. If I had to choose between the three, oh man, it's hard to say. More pads is better. I'd probably recommend getting a launch pad. I probably would just get 2 launch pads, honestly, because you're gonna want the pads. That's the thing. 64 is not a lot. I mean, since you only do JI stuff, if you do smaller scales, maybe 64 is fine. X-Key is probably the nicer instrument, but I don't know. All I know about is Relayer, and I don't think it does like fully custom. I don't know if it does fully customizable layouts. I think I've seen a demo for it, and the demo that was all temperament stuff. So basically to find the Edo, you would like get the generator to match the Edo. So it's all like generator based. So I don't know. You'd have to research that. And honestly, I don't know how Launchpad works with microtonal stuff at all. I know that I'm pretty sure Odd Sound MT ESP, the suite, the paid version, has Launchpad support. I think it does. I think Odd Sound MT has ESP. You need to use Sysex to do that. Waiting to hear from someone right after that, or X-Key come to the party. Look at Relayer. It's a third party app that you can use with X-Key, and it does Edos. I know it'll do Edos. I don't know if it'll do like whatever you want. You don't use MTS ESP? I don't know how you hook up Launchpad. I don't know how you make Launchpad microtonal, is what I'm saying. It's not a microtonal device. It's a device that is customizable to the extent that someone has made a microtonal support for it, but I'm pretty sure Odd Sound does. I think Odd Sound has like a editor for it or something. I'm not sure. You have to look into it. I don't know. But that should be enough information that you can kind of figure the rest of that out for yourself. Me personally, I use a linnstrument. I think it's worth the money. It's got 128 pads. It's velocity sensitive. It's a really good controller regardless, because it has MPE aftertouch and stuff. So it's got the pressure sensitivity. It's just, if you want a quality instrument, I'll go for a linnstrument. And then, but if you don't care that much about that, I would just get a launch pad or an X key, or a. I mean, if you don't care about the playability at all, I would just get a hex board, because the real disadvantage of the hex board is it's not velocity sensitive. So if you just want to divide, and hex board does have microtonal support. It has some built in. I don't know if it has an editor, a software editor, but it has built-in support. So you have to look into that. But it has like 31 Edo as like a preset. You don't use MTS ESP, it's usual. The only con is playing stuff in a box. What do you think? In a box. And but yeah. Yeah. I ordered a Lumitone. I'm waiting on my Lumitone. So I think oh yeah, on a linnstrument, yeah, it's like a weird peculiarity of the linnstrument. You can't play four notes at a time that create a rectangle. It's like something to do with how it detects your what pad you're playing. All right. What are we doing? Let's do something. Maybe maybe we'll look at 22 a little bit. I've been looking at some of the mosses and stuff. In 22. I could either do that or I could go back to that drum thing I was doing. Oh, what the hell? Let's do that actually. What was I doing? I came up with a bass yesterday. Oh, a snare too. Kind of like a snare, I guess. So that bass sucks. Sounds weird. What's the sound off? Magic triads. How are the names Magic Minor and Magic Major created? You're not completely sure since you weren't there. The name of the chords. And where are those chords? Where are they? Yeah, three. Chord notation better for the 22 EO series. Do you want me to go over? I don't mind going over that actually. I was thinking about actually going over that a little bit because I made that chart yesterday. Here, let me set up my camera. Yeah, yeah, I'd like that actually. I was actually thinking about doing that earlier. I just didn't think of it just now. So since you brought it up, let's do that. Yeah, because I was thinking about doing a video explaining this, but I never end up doing those videos. I just do everything on stream. But if I do end up doing a video, at least I can get some practice in. So here is a list I posted on Discord yesterday, and I posted on Facebook. Sorry for the grainy. Actually, I have the actual note on here. Let's pull that up. Here's the actual note. So let's zoom in a little bit. So I can see those, right? So this list right here, these are the 22 Ito triads in 3 different naming systems. You just clip it from your stream insert into the series. Yeah, I mean, if you end up wanting to use it, yeah, you're welcome to do that for sure. So okay, so here's the temperament symbols, and then here's the triad names, kind of. Yeah, and then like here the S and the M and all that. These are step sizes. So I've kind of changed it since I originally came up with it. I kind of went through and like looked at the symbols and was like just naming them, and I was like, oh, this should be that and that should be that and whatever. And I might still tweak it. I don't know that it's perfect or anything, but it's probably not. And a lot of people have questions too about the symbols, like what's W and what's all this supposed to mean. And the short answer is it's not random, but it's just kind of what made sense. But I'll explain how the different chords relate to each other, because to me that is pretty intuitive. So let's go over these triads first. Why is it called magic? So that's that temperament magic 5 or yeah, 1 2 3 4 5 major thirds stacked to make a minor third, basically, or something like that. Is that what it is? Where's my layout? Oh, this is not the right layout. Hold on. Yeah, 5 major thirds stacked to make a octave reduced minor third in magic. So that's just a temperament. So that's why I call these temperament names. But magic is a commonly used, well, relatively commonly used name for an augmented triad that where the fifth is about that size. So like it's about 380 cents. So if you look at the temperament names, so let's ignore the temperament names for a second. Let's look at the traditional names, because these are the most straightforward and the most similar to our currently existing 12-Ito music theory. And you can see the traditional names and the kite names are pretty similar. So the kite names are very similar, just a slight difference in like how certain things are done. But they're pretty similar. So in the traditional notation, if you ignore like the S's, all these chords, if you ignore the S's and the downs and the ups, all these chords look like 12-Ito chords. So you have a C augmented, which is 2 major thirds. You know, you have a C for a C major, so C, E, G, C down, E, G, and 22 makes a C major chord. And then C diminished would be 2 minor thirds, so C, up E flat, up G flat, those are minor thirds in 22. Blah, blah, blah. So the only difference between the traditional, what I'm calling traditional, and the kite notation is the kite notation, the chords are spelled. The chords are named the same way as they're spelled in Pythagorean notation, so basically in 12-Ito. So C, E, G is still a C major. So even though that doesn't sound, it sounds like a crazy C, like in 22 it sounds like this, which sounds kind of major, but that one sounds a lot better. It sounds a lot more major. So this is almost like a sus chord. It's a super major, but because it's C, E, G in 22, C, E, G makes a C chord. So that's the idea behind kite notation. Basically, the chord reads the same way as it would in 12 if all the notes are spelled the same. So if it's spelled that way in 12, it reads that way in 22, or whatever tuning you're in. So if the notes are C, E, G, it doesn't matter how flat your fifth is, it doesn't matter how sharp it is, it doesn't matter how major or minor it sounds, it's a C chord. So that's kite notation. So what we would call a major chord becomes a down major. So also in kite notation you have like shorthand. So instead of writing out C down major, you can just write C down. And like kite came up with ups and downs, which are like fantastic. Which are a fantastic aspect of microtonal notation in general. I don't prefer kite notation because I feel like it goes a little overboard with the ups and downs. So like here, for instance, like up is a modifier of a chord. So that up major or up minor is a type of chord, and down major is a type of chord. So basically this traditional notation, the biggest difference between these two is this gets rid of some of the ups and downs, where ups and downs only modify the like pieces of the chord. It's like not an aspect of the fundamental of the chord. There's no down major or down minor in this traditional notation. You just say C major, C minor, sub minor, super major. So you don't use up or down to describe a chord quality. You use up or down to describe an interval quality, not like an interval like major minor quality, but like an alteration to an interval. So up 5, down 5, down 3, up 3, that's fine, but it's not in the chord name. So it gets rid of some of the ups and downs. And also, whatever it sounds like it is. So the C major sounds like a C major, so it's C major. Because that's how it sounds. That's this. Or this. So, in 22-Ito, so the most common triads in 12-Ito are major and minor. So in 22 you have those, obviously, right? Major, minor. But then you also have sub minor and you have super major. So, and then, so you have 4 chords right there, and then, you know, you have 2 types of minor third and 2 types of major third. You have a sub minor and a minor, and then a major and a super major. So these 4 types of thirds create 16 combinations in total. So that's why there's 16 items on this chart. Let's see, C, G, super major, yeah. Below 5, 6, 7, yeah, it sounds second, 22. C flat, G sounds sub minor, yeah. They might be confused. Kite notation is too technical and theory based. You like traditional notation because it's more true to the actual sound. That's my feeling as well. I think I get it. It's very logical. I understand why a theorist would prefer kite notation. One thing that Kite was mentioning, because he and I were talking about this, because I posted this on Facebook, and then we were talking on Facebook, and then we also talked in the Discord about it. And he created this system to preserve interval arithmetic, to preserve the logic of this chain of fifths, blah, blah, blah. So when you do this stuff where you go for the sound, you get rid of some of that. But honestly, I don't even know what he's talking about. I have no idea what any of that means. I don't know what the interval arithmetic means. I've been a musician for 20 years. I've been pretty deep into crazy chords and jazz fusion and doing synthetic scales and all this stuff. And these things he's talking about, interval arithmetic, chain of fifths, I've never once in my life ever thought about it. I still don't even know what it means. So if you're a musician, I don't think it matters. So what my goal with the tuning of the year, 22 EDO tuning of the year, my goal has been to make a friendlier theory for 22 EDO for musicians, not for a guy on the street necessarily, not for like a 7-year-old, but like, you know, an actual practicing musician who's probably a nerd but is into music, isn't necessarily just into theory. So that's what I'm trying to do. Give practicing musicians stuff they can use. And I'm doing it largely for myself because I'm really interested in 22 EDO. But a nice benefit would be that other people can benefit from this information. So in my opinion, this column on the right, the traditional notation, this seems like it's probably going to be the style of the 3 that most practicing musicians would find the most familiar and intuitive. So, anyway, so I explained there's 16 triads because there's 4 types of thirds, and there's 16 combinations of those in total. And all the chords are written out here. And if you look at this chart, it shows you the size of the thirds: sub minor, sub minor, sub minor, minor, sub minor, major, sub minor, super major, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go too deep into the weeds right now, but I made this traditional notation because I initially posted this, because this is what I came up with at first. And the way I came up with this was in the xenharmonic Discord. I was just asking people, what do they call this chord and that chord? Because I was messing with these chords and I didn't know what to call them. And I started wondering, like, well, what the hell's the augmented chord? What's this chord? What's that chord? So I got all these names, Sensimagic, Magic, Orwell, and Chemic, from members of the Discord, members of Xenharmonic Alliance Discord, microtonalists. A lot of them are really into temperaments and temperament-influenced thinking. And that is, like it or not, it's what a lot of people use now when they talk about anything. When they talk about EDOs, when they talk about JI scales, maybe not as much to the JI scales, but when they're talking about Idos in general, they're talking about temperaments. They define Idos by what temperaments they align with. All right, let me read the chat a little bit. So, like 1564 on C could be spelled CG down A F in 22 instead of C down G down A up minor F right. Yes. But what about anti-diatonic Idos or Idos with fifth sharper than 720? That's when kite notation starts to fall off. Yeah, I mean, there's extreme examples like that where it really kind of doesn't seem applicable. But I don't think Kite's really too concerned with Idos like that because probably Kite thinks most people are not interested in Idos that are that extreme. But I don't know. I don't exactly know what his thoughts are on that. I'm not going to assume that I do, but in general, he seems like a guy who seems to think that as long as the theory is sound for the majority of basic music making, then it's probably good enough. I like 31 Ito because it's a mean tone temperament, which means that there's no difference between the 3-limit major third and the 5-limit major third. So E is E always. Yeah, that definitely makes things easier, for sure. So if you're translating to and from 12 Ito, well, if you're translating from 12 Ito to 31, it's usually pretty straightforward. The other way around, not as much, but there's pretty unambiguous ways to do it, though, to consolidate. And as long as you're not getting like neutrals and stuff. Also with 26 Ito, though E borders neutral. 26 is interesting because even though it follows mean tone logic, it enters this different realm where it doesn't really sound mean tone anymore. It sounds like something else because it gets so close to neutral. And then like the alternative diatonics are a lot more appealing too in 26. Like the super major and the sub minor. I do like how 4, 5, 6, 7, 9, 11, 13 could be spelled as C, E, G, B, double flat, D, F sharp, A flat. That's in 26 Ito. I spelled it C, E, G, B flat down, D, F something. What is that symbol? A half flat. You don't need ups and downs or quarter tones for 26. It makes sense in 31. It's a sharper flat is 1 out of 26. I love JI because my mind works best with numbers. So I can look at 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, for example. It makes sense of it more than ups and downs and whatnot, especially since each prime has its own character. Yeah, I don't know. I find JI kind of confusing because it's too much. I spend so much time thinking about the chord and trying to translate the number into a key on the piano. That's literally what I do when I'm like looking at the numbers. I'm like, oh well, that 11 is like between F and F sharp. I'm kind of like seeing where it would fall on the piano, and then like, oh, compared to the 13th harmonic, that's kind of some kind of third. I know it's somewhere in the third region. So I'm like going back and forth between numbers and piano and actual arithmetic, just adding and subtracting cents, and it's just a lot. It's a lot of thinking about shit I don't feel like doing. It's a lot easier for me to think in terms of just like intervals, like interval qualities and chord qualities. That's what I'm used to. So, okay. Anyway, so I feel like I'm going off on a lot of tangents. It's kind of a big topic in a way, and it's sort of overwhelming. But I think I'm trying to address too much. So I'm just going to answer variables question, which was where does the W come from? And the Z, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So interval qualities and J primes are very like, yeah, it's all linked, of course, but it's hard to, anyway. So the W's all mean Orwell, right? And then The J's all mean magic, and then the K is chemic. There's only one K. And then the Z's are sense of magic. So if you're in Orwell, the camera. So if you're in Orwell in 22, I think I have it on here. Is it this? Oh, maybe it is that. Yeah, so here's the basic Orwell. In 22 off of C. This is a basic Orwell. I don't know which mode it is. It's just some mode of Orwell. So you have, this is, sorry, what is it? So the Orwell subminor is, where is it? I think it's that. Let me double check. So, oh, it's just this. Never mind. So Orwell. So this is the Orwell subdiminished chord. So this is a subminor third followed by a subminor third, right? So if you have two subminor thirds, that's a subdiminished chord. So that is about as Orwell can be, because the generator for Orwell is a subminor third, right? You just stack two of them. So that I'm just calling the Orwell or the subdiminished, whatever. Orwell diminished. But if you kept going, if you went here, you have subminor third and then a major third. So that's basically a subminor with a down five, right? So that's in Orwell, the basic mode of Orwell, the 5-note version of it. So that in Orwell land, there's only, in this 5-note version of Orwell, there's only these 3 chords. Those are the only triads. Right? Well, I guess there's this thing. But that's just an inversion of one of the triads, I think. Maybe not. But oh no, that's just a subdiminished. So no, it's not. I think that's, what is that? Let's take a look at that. What is that? What was I looking at? Come on. So that's it's not a triad, so it's not even a triad. Okay, right? Double check. So that's F sharp and A and D sharp. A, F sharp, A, D sharp. It's not D sharp, A. It's a fifth. D sharp, F sharp, A. Is that just a subdiminished again? Yeah, it's just another subdiminished. No. Yeah, it's just another subdiminished. Okay, it's just another Orwell. Just in a different inversion. So yeah, you only have those three triads. You have this Orwell, it's another Orwell, and then this you have sub minor third and then a major third. And this you have a major third and a sub minor third. And it sounds kind of like a major chord. That sounds kind of like a minor chord. So in that Orwell world, that's like a major and a minor. So that's where it comes from. So the regular Orwell, the two sub minor thirds, it's just an Orwell. And if you have the diminished symbol, you could write that if you wanted. And then the Orwell minor, I put the minus for minor, and then for the major, I put the plus, and I also capitalize it, but obviously the capital would be optional. But in fact, I guess the plus would be optional if you took off the capital. But so yeah, so that's where that comes from. They're all in Orwell, and it's not a literal major chord and minor chord, but it's like a sub minor with a up five or a down five and a major with a down five. They're all in that mode. So that's the Orwell ones. So Orwell means that sub minor third, and it also means that down five. So it's a sub minor third and a major third. Those are the only intervals in that chord, in that type of chord. So then so did you have another question about the and so for the W, it's just how do you shorthand Orwell? Well, you can't use a zero, you can't use an O. I just thought R looked funny. I was thinking of R at first, but I just thought R looked funny as a notation, so I just went with W. And I think someone else did W too. I think I actually saw someone using W as like a superscript. Yeah, Orwell is a temperament, but it creates a Moss scale. So and then chemic, they literally told me a chemic chord is when you stack the 3/13 center, whatever, minor third, the porcupine minor third, or whatever, 4 times makes a chemic chord or something. So I was like, well, just call it a chemic triad. You could also call it a porcupine triad. I think that'd be fine. Yeah, it's every other porcupine. So some people call this a diminished chord because it's 2 minor thirds. And I guess in this it would be could be, but I opted for this one, the tonal. And yeah, so chemic is just literally the name of a chord from porcupine. It's kind of funny how tight knit this xenharmonic community is because of its small size. Yeah. And then so that's half of the temperaments that are referenced. Then the other 2 are magic and sense-o-magic. So magic, the magical 7th chord, I'm pretty sure it's just this. You you just stack that major third from 22 3 times. In a magic triad, you just stack it twice. Pretty sure that's how it works. I don't know. But people call that magic. So the thing is if you invert this magic triad. So some people say magic is the augmented chord because it's 2 major thirds, right? If you stack it, I mean, if you invert it, you get a major third followed by a super major third. If you invert it again, you get a super major third followed by a major third. So unlike in 12-Ito where augmented is symmetrical, the magic chord is not symmetrical. And when you invert it, you get new triads, which is strange. There's nothing that doesn't happen in 12. If you get another triad from an inversion in 12, then it's the same. It's just the augmented chord, right? That's the only instance where that happens. So the quality is exactly the same, meaning that a chord, first inversion augmented in 12-Ito is the same exact sound as a second inversion augmented in 12-Ito. So the inversions are irrelevant, and that's just a property of any symmetrical structure in music. But in 22-Ito, this chord is not symmetrical, but because the thirds are so large, since they're major thirds, and 2 of them exceed the size of a fifth, when you invert them, they make another triad with different thirds. So again, the magic triad is just major major, but when you invert that, you get a chord that's major super major. And if you invert it again, you get a chord that's super major major. So on the same root, you could play this, or you could play this. This is a different magic chord inverted, but on this root, and then this would be a different magic chord inverted, but on this root. So it doesn't make sense to just refer to every chord by its inversion. So even though magic chords invert to other magic chords, every voicing has a specific sound and quality, which necessitates giving them unique identities and names. So structurally speaking, if in this magic world of this magical augmented triad, this is the smallest version. So this only goes up to an up 5. But this goes to a down sharp 5, as does this. So basically in this world, this is kind of like a diminished chord because it's the 2 smallest thirds. So the magic triad, the classic magic triad, it's the smallest of the inversions. So it's like the diminished version. And then this, it has the small third and then the big third. So it's like the minor version. And then this has the big third and the small third. So it's like the major version. So that's why I'm calling them just magic for the main one, the first one. Then like the augmented chord, which is like a diminished version of a magic chord, and then magic minor and magic major. Yeah. So as you invert them, you start on magic. As you invert it, you get magic minor. You invert it again, you get magic major. If you invert again, you're back to another just plain magic or magic diminished or whatever. So it's weird because the magic minor doesn't even have a minor third in it. It's just in this world of magic, it's the minor chord. And that made so much sense to me. I couldn't get rid of it. And it was just kind of a funny thought I had, but it just gelled like right away. I was like, oh, that's like a minor chord. I just wanted to call it magic minor. and that's why I call it magic minor. So it's, even though when you're just looking at the symbols and all that, it's counterintuitive. When you're actually like playing the voicings, they're very intuitive. At least to me. I mean, it could just be me. I don't know. A lot of people don't seem to like this system. So, but I like it. I'm not like trying to make it work either. It's just I've actually been trying to make other things work, and as I've done other things, it makes me like this system more. The table on the right is yeah, I can see that. So you're talking about the traditional or you're talking about this right here. Anyway, they probably both help. But I think most musicians would want to start here. And then maybe if they went on their instrument, this one would start to make more sense. So C down E up A flat is magic minor. Yeah, down G sharp. Yeah, that'd be magic minor, exactly. Yeah, and then Sensa Magic is really similar because it's also the thirds are super major now. So Sensa Magic is similar but kind of wild because well, I'll just show you. So the Sensa Magic triad, and Sensa Magic is a Moss and 11 Ito. So there's 2 chains of Sensa Magic in 12 Ito. But it's basically like a kind of like a whole tone scale. So this is like its own kind of augmented chord, C, E, G sharp, but it's 2 super major thirds. So what's weird about this is that the super major third is so large that when you invert it, all you're left with is a minor third on top. So the Sensa Magic triad, when it inverts, you get super major minor. And then when you invert it again, you get minor super major. So I just followed the same logic as the magic triads. And I'm just calling this Sensa Magic, or Sensa Major, and Sensa Minor. It's got the small third and the big third. So it's the exact same idea. And the Sensa Magic triads, they sound more distinct, I think. But they have the same, like the inversions sound very different because the thirds are so different. Like in the main version, it's 2 super major triads, and in this version, so it's an exaggerated thing compared to the magic triads. As you can hear, like the inversions have very different qualities. So you have Sensa Magic, Sensa Major, Sensa Minor. Now, where did the symbols come from? Well, I wanted to use some symbol. I didn't want to invent a symbol. These don't have to be the symbols. It's just what I came up with. Why did I do Z? Well, I think Z just made sense to me because Sensa starts with S. We can't use S. It's already super major. There's no question about that. You can't use like E, which would be the second letter. And you can't use M, you know what I mean, for magic. Like, what are you going to do? The Z is like a backwards S. And also the main Sensa Magic chord is like a big ass chord. And Z is like the last letter. I don't know. It kind of makes sense to me to use Z. Is it, that's all there is to it. There's nothing special about it. Could there be a better symbol? Probably. I don't know what it is though. If someone knows, let me know. I'll at least consider it. So the doubles. So one thing I changed. If you look here, I was putting the plus on the Sensa Magic because it's the 2 super majors, so it's the widest one of these. So I was putting the plus here, but that wasn't consistent with the other chords, and I just didn't notice it. And I think initially I put the plus on the senza major, and then I changed my mind, and then I just changed it back again. So basically, if you see the plus, it just means the major version of the chord. If you see the minus, it's just the minor version of the temperament chord. So that way it's consistent. The only place it's not consistent is on the diminished triads. I put the minus on the, but it still is consistent. It's just maybe less obvious because not this is the darker version of the diminished chord. This is the U-tonal. You could put a plus here, but you probably just would skip it. Like, what's the point? It's basically just the diminished chord. So if you wanted to, you could put a plus here on the O-tonal diminished. Yeah. Watch a video about equally divided mind, pretty small YouTube channel. He basically rediscovered sense of magic, called them stellar triads. That was pretty cool. Oh, that's cool. Stellar. Yeah, if you could do a star symbol, that would be cool. I mean, you could do an asterisk, I guess. You could do like that instead of the Z. But I don't know. I don't think I like the double symbols. It's kind of confusing. I like using the letters. The letters are consistent with normal notation. It's just when you see J and Z, you're like, what the fuck does that mean? Which I get it. But like, what are the advantages of temperament notation? Well, the disadvantages are obvious. You have to kind of know what the temperaments are referring to. So you would have to learn what Orwell is. You would have to learn what magic is. You would have to learn what sense of magic is. Is that a big deal? I think it's not, because most people who are learning in alternative tuning are going to have the patience to learn a couple new concepts. I don't really think it's that big of a deal. That being said, if you're completely unfamiliar with microtonality and you're kind of interested in 22, we do have this system. And I think this is fine too. I wouldn't blame anyone for using this, and I wouldn't blame anyone for using kite notation. I've seen kite notation being used. Yuba uses it. However you say the guy's name. And Kite uses it, obviously. I think Stephen Weigel uses it as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I'm pretty sure he has used it. So yeah, I just, kite notation is fine. I don't have an issue with anyone using it. I don't think I'm going to use it. I have been learning it because I want to be able to understand it when I see it, because it is in use, and I want to be able to translate things to kite notation if necessary, and from kite notation. Well, I already said that, but yeah. So yeah, basically my goal is to be, I'm already like, this is already second nature to me, the temperament notation, even though it probably seems the weirdest to everybody else. It honestly, I'm not even kidding, it took me like an hour to understand this. All I've done is tweaked it a little bit. I stole Kite's D's for diminished because there's no half flats in 22s, and I realized the only thing keeping this from looking like super elegant was that, so I just decided to cut those off. But yeah, that's it in a nutshell. And then the J, why did I do J? Similar thing. You can't use M for magic. You can't use A for magic. You can't use G for magic. I guess you could use I, but that looks like a 1 for one chord. I don't know. J, it's just, I try to use symbols that aren't already in use. That's all. That are easy to use. So a letter from the alphabet. J for magic. J. There's a gas station called Magic around town here. It's spelled MAJIK. So just think of that. All right, I'll start using your temp notation for 22 on stream now. Oh hell yeah! Well, yeah, I'm glad you are getting some use out of it, variable, and I won't be offended if you prefer a different notation. I think everyone should go with what makes sense to them. I'm not pushing temperament notation. I've made a lot of effort to provide alternative notation for people who have complained about temperament notation. So I did that for a reason, because I hope people can just find some system that works. But I like it. It's what I'm using. It's basically everything else I'm translating to temperament, because that's what makes sense to me intuitively. Whoa, you did that with him? You missed your training competition? Oh yeah, that was fun. What happened here? Forgot the stream numbers. Yeah, it's pretty early on. You could use your training competition, bring it on. Oh man, variable's leaving. That's too bad. Later variable. Your first place for considerable time on microtonal, your trainer, universe knocked me off, gave up. Yeah. Universe is the new goat, but variable was the first goat. And she's still the what's right beneath the goat? The sheep, I guess. Oh, well, that sounds kind of insulting. The baby goat, the kid. Variable's still the kid. All right. You missed a lot. You'll be more active on these streams. Hey, it's been fun hanging out, Skyward. Thanks for dropping in. I don't think I'm gonna stream much longer. I'm actually not sure what I'm gonna do. Might actually go. Maybe I'll try to do a little bit of this drama stuff. Yeah, later, variable. Thanks for dropping in. Glad that cleared things up for you. Y'all ever done lyrics? Yeah. If you go to my Bandcamp, linked on the screen. Actually, I have some microtonal stuff I sing on. But if you go to my Bandcamp, it's a 12-veto album, but I have made music in I do write songs, but I have a microtonal song I can show you. I have a few, but I want to show you this one.
What's the point? Having dreams, everything you want is out of reach. You wake up to a nightmare. It's fucked up and nobody cares. Everything is missing, nothing that you have just feels right at all. It is wrong.
That goes on, but yeah, here it's just piano and vocals, but I have like all the lyrics are on my Bandcamp. So yeah, you can go in there if you're curious. But yeah, this is not microtonal. But it's an album I put out a year or two ago. When did I put it out? Yeah, January last year, and I did put a lot into it. And yeah, but I've been playing piano for 20 something years now, and then been writing songs for I guess close to a decade. So that's kind of the where I'm kind of where I've gotten to with that. I'm a little further along now, I guess, but not much. Brennan Burns has some cool stuff. Yeah, Brennan Burns has some sick stuff. Operator is sick. That one's actually I believe. I like all his stuff. He's probably probably like my favorite. If I had to pick a favorite microtonal artist, but there's quite a few who are really good. But he's definitely on that short list. He hits 13/8 and operator a lot. He's your favorite too, yeah. No, yeah, he's sick. I'm really like trying to just model him in a lot of ways. I mean, I do my own thing too, of course, but I really want to get better at producing. And but it's not just him. It's also like Zia Rose and like the Mercury Tree. Those guys like Ben Spees. Like I'm trying to do stuff like what they're doing. I mean, in my own style, obviously, but basically, I want to be able to get like full, like a whole musical thing going. Like you could potentially do with a group, or I could just do it on my own and produce everything. But yeah, just trying to get to that level of competency, which I can write music just fine. I'm really just like learning how to produce, like make music on a computer and mix, and trying to get better at singing too, but I'd be doing that anyway, even if I wasn't into microtonal stuff. All right. So maybe I'll try to make another bass. The reason he's my favorite is because he makes his microtonal music sound like traditionally structured music instead of non-rhythmic improvisation. It's super experimental. Yeah, no, I mean he's a good like songwriter and good composer. Like he has good ideas. And yeah, he doesn't like totally lean into the like there are a lot of microtonalists who are either like hyper experimental to the point where like once it starts sounding good they don't like it, or once it's like intelligible they don't like it. And then there's a lot of microtonalists who are like not even really into music, but they'll make musical examples to like sate their mathematical curiosity. And like that stuff is like just very strange. It's not really music, it's more just like sound experiments. So yeah, I mean there's a lot of microtonal stuff that is hard to listen to and hard to enjoy. But like Brennan Burns and Zia and Arose, and also the other Zia, Elaine Walker, and I mean even like Paul Ehrlich to some extent, and Mike Battelle. I mean there are these really accomplished microtonalists who make really good music, and they're like serious musicians as well as being serious microtonalists. So those are the people I'm most inspired by and want to emulate the most. And I think they're heroes to a lot of people now, and like there's more and more like musical microtonalists, There's more people that like, Like you're doing like really musical microtonal stuff. Kind of reminds me of Manfish. Oh yeah, you're mentioning Manfish right now. And yeah, and there's like Manfish, and then there's like there's like so many people now that make cool stuff. There's Levi McLean, and there's I guess they're not a band anymore, but there's a Hear It Between the Lines guys, and then there's the Fast guy. I can't remember his name, but oh, and obviously there's Sevish. I don't know how I forgot to mention Sevish. He has some great stuff. I mean, that's the thing. Like, it used to feel like when I first got into this stuff, like 5 years ago, there were maybe 5 people I could mention, and most of them were like so old. There were only a handful of people I would recommend. And basically the main 3 modern microtonalists I would mention were the same 3 I most usually go to now, which is Zia Rose, Brennan Burns, and Mercury Tree. And but now there's like so many, like, I would really have to think about it. I have to like go on my YouTube and like there's Brian Deester, there's that fucking Horse Lords band, there's God, what's that other band? I can't even remember all the stupid names. And there's more and more people coming out all the time. And if you go on the xenharmonic Discord, like, people post new sketches and new pieces like every single day just on the Discord. And then on YouTube, there's like so much stuff posted every day now. I can't keep up with it. It really is like, it's not to the point now where it's like so huge that it's mainstream and stuff, but like a lot of people now have at least heard of microtonal, and there's a lot more, especially like younger people who are like into making music. I mean, it makes sense because there's so many bedroom producers now. It's such a common thing. I almost feel like it's like as popular now as like making a band was when I was a kid. Like, so many bedroom producers, and it's so easy to do microtonal music on your computer. And so a lot of people are messing with it. And I wish I could remember the name of that other band. They're so fucking good. But yeah, I can't even remember. I can't even name all the bands. There's one band that's so fucking good. I wish I could remember their name. It's got that Jack Titchener guy. It's mostly younger people now. You're 15. Yeah, there you go. I mean, Variable is the Variable's pretty young too, and EDM's pretty young. And yeah, so it's really cool. It's really exciting, and I'm glad to be a part of it, even if I'm, even though I'm pushing 40. But it's just cool that there's something happening in music that is not only new and exciting, but also kind of nerdy. Yeah, microtonal lock. Yeah, it is what it is, dude. I'm turning 38 at the end of the year, so I have no pretense about any of that. But yeah. Man, what do they call it? They're called Basil Kite or something? Basil's Kite. Basil's Kite. This band is so good. It's got Jack Tickner in it. Yeah, they're so sick. But yeah, I mean they're doing like microtonal hardcore and shit, and the guitar is like a JI guitar. That guy Jack Tickner like studied microtonal music. I think he got like his master's or doctor in composition or something, and was studying JI stuff, and like made this. I think he. I don't know if he made the guitar, but I'm pretty sure he like designed the tuning for it. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but that information is probably out there. I don't really know. But yeah, it's cool to hear like JI used in a like aggressive like rock and like format. Also, some really young sounding kid made a new microtonal channel a couple days ago and copied your name. It's weird. That's not good. Yeah, you might. I don't know. You might have a case if you complain to YouTube. All right. Actually, I think I'm just gonna get going. But yeah, it was fun chatting. I was thinking about maybe making another bass. But how long has it been? In 2 hours. Now what the hell? I'll make one. I'll make one bass patch and then I'll go. All right. Forget it. I'll go later. Let's make a bass. Let's make another bass. And maybe another snare. All right. So yesterday I made this bass, which sounds like that. There's no sustain on it. Should make one with a sustain on it. See, I'm not really that good at making basses. I'm really not that good at making anything, honestly, but trying to get better at it. So just start with a let's make one with some sustain. Let's make it slightly longer. Yeah, see you, Skyward. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you next time. Have a good rest of your night. Need a click. Expand this. do some different velocities. Do a little blow up. Okay, so okay, and then let's just add a little FM. Oh, it keeps clicking. It's crazy that it's so dissonant. Wow. Call it there. But yeah. Alright. Thanks everybody who checked out the stream. I have 0 viewers. I think I'll be back tomorrow. But I don't know for sure. But yeah, see y'all next time.